Okay, we're going to record the meeting so that folks that weren't able to make it can hear the business portion of the meeting. So we have some speakers booked for later in the year. Michelle and Lindsay, would you like to unmute and tell us about some of our folks that we have coming up? Maybe? Let's see if I can.
There we go.
Oh, no, we're talking about the March in-person meeting first, I guess. So in March, we are going to be meeting in person at the Multnomah Arts Center in Multnomah Village. We will also be streaming it on Zoom for folks that are not able to attend because you're out of the Portland area or you don't want to join us in person for whatever reason. So we will be streaming it on Zoom. And we have a little bit of a packing list for you, and we'll definitely be posting this and sending it out in the newsletter. So what to bring if you're coming in person is your name tag. If you can find your old one, awesome. If you can't, we will have some that you can, the PMQG buttons that you can write your name on, or you can make some. Michelle has a link to a Pinterest board that has a bunch of options for how to make. You've got a month to make a name tag for yourself. We would love to see your quilt fashions. So I will be wearing my quilt coat again. If you've made any kind of quilted fashions, we'd love to see that. We will also be having an orphan block swap that then you can take it home and use all of your stash jazz techniques that you learned this weekend to turn it into something fabulous. So if you have some orphan blocks that you want to bring, we'd love to see those. And then our big activity that we're going to have for March is going to be a big show and tell of in-person show and tell. So we would love for every single person that comes in person, or whoever wants to bring 1 to 3 quilts that you have made since 2020, something that you've made during the pandemic. We are encouraging masks. They're not required, but we are going to encourage them. And we will also, if you are doing your mini swapping in person, remember to bring your mini swap. And then we will also be having cupcakes from Unicorn Bake Shop. And so bring your appetite for cupcakes. Because we're going to have cupcakes, we would love to get a rough head count of if you are planning to come in person or not. And so I'm going to launch a poll right now. If you plan to come in person, please let us know. And then if you aren't going to come in person because you don't want to or you can't, that's great too, but we just want to know that. So and then the other thing is we are in a new space. The board went and toured the Multnomah Arts Center today, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space. It's going to be an awesome space for us. And but we are going to need a few helpers to arrive at 6:30 to help us get everything set up. Then also some folks that are willing to stay and help us put all the chairs away at the end. So if you are willing to do that, please email the board or just plan on showing up at 6:30. We're going to also need to have a few people to kind of guide where we're going in the building, because it's a little bit hard to find in the building. So I mean, it's not that hard, but it's a little bit hard. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. It looks like as of right now, we have about 33 people that say they're going to come. And so that's awesome. We will make sure we have at least 33 cupcakes. I love Unicorn Bake Shop. They're super tasty, and they're all vegan, and they do have gluten-free options. So yeah. We're gonna move on. Are there any questions about the in-person meeting? No. Okay. All right. Here's the time for Michelle and Lindsay to unmute and tell us about.
We have Knot and Thread Caitlin coming virtually in May, as well as teaching us a workshop on Saturday and on Sunday, which is really exciting. They're going to tell us all about, she's going to tell us all about, you know, her journey into quilting and how she became a long armor and designing patterns.
Great. And then after
something really cool about that is also everyone that signs up for those workshops will get a discount for her entire shop. So all of the cool hardware that she puts out for backpacks and duffels. And then in July, we have Ben Millet coming. And that is also one of our virtual meetings. And in September, in person, we're going to have Sarah Buscalia of Farm and Folk here for a lecture about dyeing fabrics and raising that dye there on her farm, as well as I think her new book is coming out that month. So she'll get to share about that and share some of her like beautiful quilts with us. And then a 2-day workshop about natural dyeing, which I am just very excited about. And I hope that you are too.
All right. Okay, we're gonna have some in-person sew days at Mill End. The first one is coming up next weekend. So we're gonna have our first 2 at the Mill End in Southeast in Milwaukee, February 25th and May 13th. And then the second half of the year, we will be over in the Beaverton West Side, Mill End, August and November. We'll have ironing boards and cutting mats out for everyone. You can bring your machine and a project and just sew all day long and hang out with folks. Our next one is going to be next Saturday, so not this Saturday when we have the workshop, but the following Saturday. I know lots of folks are going to be at QuiltCon, but for those of us that aren't going to QuiltCon, come join us at the Mill End in Milwaukee. It's just off of McLaughlin, super easy to get to. We are going to have a free table. We're not going to collect them ahead of time, but if you want to participate, bring your stuff to Mill End in the morning. We'll have a big table. Anything that's left over at the end of the day will be donated to Reclaim It, which is a shop here in town that has all sorts of secondhand crafty goodies. So any questions about the sew days? Great. We have our virtual spring retreat coming up next month. This will be right after our guild meeting in March. It's 3 days, starts on Friday evening, all day Saturday. Oops, sorry, no, go back. There we go. Starts on Friday, all day Saturday, and then like 2/3 of the day on Sunday. And tickets are on sale now. They're $45. We're going to have 3 guest speakers throughout the weekend, and lots of activities. We also now are going to open the retreat up to non-members. So if you have a friend who you want to sew on Zoom with all weekend, who is not a guild member, we would love to have them come join us. The guest speakers are Joe Avery is one of them. Do we have Jenny or Roseanne want to unmute and remind me who the other 2 are?
Quilt Maven Dave will be our Friday night speaker. Saturday, we will have Tanya Weevil. She is a Cherokee National Treasure. She will be speaking on After First Contact. And then we'll have Joe Avery on Sunday.
Thank you, Roseanne. Anything else you want to tell us about the retreat?
It's just gonna be a weekend of sewing and fun, lots of laughs. There's lots of room left. Please bring your friends and come, and it should be a fabulous time. We will be sending out our mailings a week from Monday. So time's getting short. Quickly get your tickets while they last.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roseanne. And thank you, Roseanne and Jenny, for organizing this up for us. They have done great work. So, all right, we have the Rainbow Challenge. Casey was not able to be here this evening, but she has been working on cutting up the fabric for the Rainbow Challenge and getting that out to folks. We do, I believe, still have a few spaces for sign up. So if you're wanting to participate in the Rainbow Challenge, sign up now. That is in the members only section. Sarah, I think you're here. Do you want to say anything else about the Rainbow Challenge?
Yeah, make a rainbow challenge. It'll be so cool. Anybody that applied for a lap quilt spot totally have a spot. And I mean, some people really FOMO last year because they missed the deadline and they didn't get a quilt in. And it was really fun to show art quilts at Powell's Books for the whole month. Some people sold them. It was really great. I just want to encourage anybody that's thinking about it, just get your name on the list. Make a mini. It's just a mini. You can all make a mini. That's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Speaking of minis, Lindsay, you want to talk to us about the mini swap?
I just wanted to remind everybody tonight that if you sign up for the mini swap, please bring it in person to the March meeting because we get to swap in person. I know we're like all used to like COVID, sending it in the mail, and that's fun. It's not that fun. Let's swap in person. It's exciting. We're going to get to see what we created for somebody else, and then you didn't know who got you. So I hope that you're excited. And for those of you that signed up from the other side of the country or from Canada, because there were several of you, I would love to see you use the hashtag and send it before the meeting, because then we can also share it in our slideshow so that everybody else can see what you all swapped to. That would be really fun. So PMQG.
And somebody is getting this
2023
amazing Hexie thing
Right.
that Corey
And
made.
what a great way to share in black and white. So it's still like a little secret. Love that.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. So the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, we are going to be saving our houseplant theme for 2024. So if you have started on a houseplant quilt, keep working on it. We will be showing it, but not this year. So we're gonna have that theme open, and then photos of the finished quilt, including the sizes, are gonna be due in November of this year, and then we will show them in 2024. So we have been encouraged by sisters to have our members submit individual quilts, they have a deadline of May 17th, but they might close if if space fills up. So if you have a quilt that you want to show at Sisters this year, make sure to get your registration in soon. And the show is July 8th. So there's not a theme for us this year. So we had picked a theme of houseplant days. And we are not going to be able to have a PMQG exhibit in 2023. There was some Sisters is changing their deadlines for things, and there was some miscommunications about that. And they also have had many groups that are applying to be special exhibit groups, and so there wasn't space for us. So that's why we're going to have, we're going to extend the timeline for making houseplant quilts, and we will show them next year and make sure that we have everything done on their timeline for next year. So, but you can still submit your own quilts. They just won't all be shown together necessarily. And we did talk about having a PMQG specific label that if you are going to show a quilt at Sisters, that you can print that off and put it on your quilt so that they'll be all sprinkled around, but people will still be able to see that it's a PMQG quilt. So we'll be working on that and getting that to folks who want to do that. All right, we have next weekend, in addition to the Sew Day, we also have charity quilt drop off at Kat's house. She'll have quilt kits to make these beautiful wonky star blocks, which are so much fun. You can also drop off any blocks that you finished, or tops that you finished, or completed quilts. She also usually will have tops that need to be sewn together if you are wanting to practice your free motion quilting. So you can pick those up. And the address for her house is in the members only section. We also will be having charity quilt sew days with Kath at the Alberta Modern Domestic this upcoming Monday from 10 to 4. And it's just like a drop-in sew for a little while. You don't need to bring anything. They have all the machines there. Kath has all of the wonderful fabric and materials and rotary cutters, and everything is ready to go, and you just show up and help. So they're all these Mondays, February, March, and April. And what is the time for charity quilt drop off at Kath's house? I don't think we have a set time. I would say like normal, not before 9 a.m. And then not probably past maybe 6. I don't know. So daytime hours. But I didn't get that information from Kath specifically. And then in terms of where the charity quilts go, a lot of them go to Dornbecker. We also send some to Camp Erin, which is a like summer camp for children who have lost a parent. Thank you, Angel. 10 to 2. Excellent. And Erin, thank you. 10 to 2 for drop off at Kath's house. And then there's several different charities. Project Linus. Most of the quilts go to kids, but there are some quilts for older adults as well. So speaking of charity quilts, we have this quilt that is our charity raffle quilt. It's the Urban Chickens quilt made in PMQG logo colors that we had members work on last year. And the tickets are $5 for a raffle ticket. And then all of the money raised is going to go to Taking Ownership PDX, which is a group that helps BIPOC folks in North and Northeast Portland stay in their homes. So, excuse me. we will also we'll be drawing the winner of this quilt at the March meeting. So get your tickets purchased prior to the March meeting. And we'll also probably be selling raffle tickets in person at the meeting. What are the approximate dimensions? I do not have that, but there is a grown person standing behind it. So I would say it's large lap quilt, large throw, could probably go on a bed, but maybe not hang over the sides. But I don't have the exact dimensions. I think it might be in the post, in the shop item. All right, Amy, are you ready to tell us about the
Yeah.
wonderful block of the month?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Dame. I'm excited about this and I hope you're excited too. So the 2023 PMQG Block of the Month program, we're going to do things a little bit different. Instead of having an exact pattern that everyone follows every month, we're going to have an improv prompt. And each of the prompts will be based on a Portland landmark, but it's entirely up to you. So if you don't live in Portland or you're just like meh about the landmark or whatever, it doesn't have to be obviously Portland. So it's I've chosen like a variety of landmarks so that they have different kind of shapes and images that we'll be including. And that means you'll probably end up doing a variety of techniques as well. And so by the end of the year, you'll end up with a sampler kind of quilt, but all of improv that can be as Portland you like or as un-Portland as you like. It's a good way for if you're nervous about improv, it's a good way to get started because it's up to you how complicated you want to make it. Or if you love improv already, I hope that the prompts will just help to inspire you. And we also there's going to be 2 documents uploaded this month. One is the introduction, which has just kind of this basically to remind you, and then has a whole page of links to video and blog tutorials of different improv techniques. So it would be a really good resource. And then every month there'll be a PDF available online in the members only section that has the prompt for the month, a little bit of info about them, because sometimes it's cool to learn new things about your city as well. And then it'll show you, I've done up some like things to show you kind of like ideas of what to pull from it. So if we want to go to the next slide.
Yep.
So this month's was Big Pink, which fascinatingly, the reason that the glass looks pink is because it's a semi-transparent coating of copper and silver. And not everyone in Portland is familiar with this, but it was one of the ones that was suggested numerous times when we asked for suggestions. But so we picked it for the first month because it's a pretty simple shape. Like you could just go with if you want to go to the next slide. If you wanted to go with just the basic shape of the building, you totally could. Or you could pick up like the stair step aspect of the windows like that. And those are still pretty basic shapes to play with. So you can make it as complex or as simple as you want. And then you can go into more detail of like the rectangles of the stair step windows or into a grid of the windows themselves. And then so that's available, that'll be online in the members only. And then every month at the meeting, when we talk about it, we will have some samples just to give you kind of an idea of where to go. So these are 3 different samples that we all interpreted in different ways. I think that's the gist. Does anyone have any questions about how it's all going to work and stuff?
I'm really excited to see how everyone interprets this.
I am too. One thing I didn't talk about, because I feel like with block of the months in general, and most of us have been doing them, is that we kind of already know, but it's one thing to think about your color palette if it's going to be something you're going to do for like 9 months or for a whole long year of like, which colors do I want to use? What fabrics do I want to set aside to use for this? And so I think there's like a lot of really fun Portland fabrics available. There's like Violet Craft. I know this is like a while ago, but did like the bridges and stuff like that. or you could do different color palettes. And I think it would be fun. It's going to be fun to see how people also, what colors everyone chooses to illustrate their Portland. So, and then there's a hashtag, there's 2 hashtags that we'd ask you to use so that we can see what everyone's doing and what
Do we have, no,
we're inspired.
those, the information about the hashtags is in the stuff that got posted on the website.
Yeah, it's in the PDF in the introduction. It's TDX Improv Sampler and PMQG Block of the Month 2023. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much to Amy for pulling this together for us, and then also to our sample sewers. We're going to try to have some folks that have the prompt a month ahead of time so that we can have some samples for everyone to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So thank you to Amy, Sarah, and Sandy for doing these samples for us. All right, so we still need your help. We are still looking for a social media VP if anyone is interested. Marcy and I are sort of doing our best to get things posted, but it has been a little bit inconsistent. So we'd love to have somebody who is just focused on the social media. That is a board position, and so you would attend board meetings. So if you're interested in that position, please email the Guild inbox. We also, in the interim, have a social media request form that is all the way at the very bottom of the members only section, that if you have something, you're a committee chair or a small group chair and you want to have us post something on social media or have us update the website with something, that's got all the information that we need to be able to get that done. So, and we've had a couple of people use that so far and it's been great. Yeah. And then the other thing we are trying to do is to set up affiliate links with Amazon or other websites for quilting basics, so that, you know, it's like, oh, if you need to buy rotary blades, you can buy them through our link and we'll get a little bit of money. If we can have somebody help us set those up, that money will go to the scholarship program. We previously had Amazon Smile and some people were using that, but they are doing away with that program. So if you know about affiliate links, we'd love to have your help. And that doesn't need to be it's not a long-term thing. It's like, give us some ideas about how to get it set up, maybe help us actually set it up, and then you'd be done. All right. We also are looking for a new chair or co-chairs or whatnot of the DEIA committee. Kimberly and Susan are stepping back from that work. So if you are interested in helping lead that group, we would love to have you. Again, let the email the Guild. We currently don't have any DEIA meetings scheduled because there isn't someone that has stepped up yet to chair. So, all right. And then we also have more of our blankets going out. Kim King, I think I saw you on there. Do you want to unmute and talk about this for a second? Maybe Kim left.
Oh, here I am.
Oh, great.
No, I'm here. It just
Welcome.
It just took me a while to find the mute button.
Took you a moment. That's totally fair.
Yeah, it did. All right. We're kicking off our blanket making program again this year. So if you're interested in making blankets from some scrap fabric that's been donated to us by one of the blanket making companies here in Oregon, just let us know. All you need to do is email us at the pmqggivesback@gmail.com, and we'll get you set up with some blanket making fabrics, some instructions, and we're looking forward to supporting some good organizations with some wonderful blankets. And do keep in mind that if you do make 3 blankets, we invite you to keep one, and that's just a good connection between you and the people that you're supporting. The blankets are beautiful. They can be really simple to make, just sewing several strips together, or you can get really fancy and start piecing them. We've got instructions for both methods. So we'd love to have you join us in making the blankets, and we look forward to another successful program this year. So like I said, email us at pmqggivesback@gmail.com. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim.
Sure.
All right. Speaking of blankets, if I can get to the next slide, we had our lovely members up in Canada did some blanket making. Michelle or Nadia, are either of you available to unmute for a minute and tell us about your projects?
Michelle's here.
Hello.
Hi. This was actually Nadia that spearheaded this, and I unfortunately had some life events last year where I couldn't quite catch up, but managed to show up this year. And with Nadia's help, we got 15 sewn together, and 13 went to a local shelter, Burdock House, that was opening, much appreciated. And 2 went to our Women in Need group, along with some other charity blankets that we made on behalf of some I Spy blankets for the kids that we made. I have to say that these were a pleasure to work with and to make and to piece. And I would be, if any come north again on a friend visiting a friend, like how we got the last IKEA bags of them or whatever, I would be happy to do them again. It was an absolute honor to represent on this side of the border on behalf of the Guild, and so much appreciated for whoever got these in the first place and was able to make that connection. Just felt really, really good to be able to give them to a place that really needed them and much appreciated them. So thank you for letting me participate.
That's awesome. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Michelle.
This is Kim King again. So Michelle, let's make a really good effort to try to get you some more blanket fabric up there. I think we can make it happen one way or another.
Absolutely.
So,
you get it. I'll sew it.
Okay, that's Michelle Weston, right?
Yep, that is. And Nadia Soko.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll reach out to you guys. Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, and then we had more of our charity beyond Portland. We had some folks from around the country in the US and in Canada. Any of the folks that were participating in this, would you like to speak to this?
Sure.
Deborah
it's Nadia.
or Nadia? Yes, hi.
Oh yeah, and I think I saw Deborah on there. Deborah, if you want to speak, you can. So yeah, this started last year, especially because a bunch of us were on Zoom and we couldn't participate in, or it was very difficult to participate in the PMQG charity element of the Guild. So Deborah, who's an awesome communicator, she herded all of us cats together, and we had folks from out east in the States. Also, I believe someone maybe from New Mexico, and some folks in Canada. And we also had some folks in Canada who helped deliver quotes to different people. And yeah, the last few were finally done. And just a big shout out to Deborah, as mentioned, Arita, Sue, Jeannie, Maureen, Sherry, Michelle, Liz, and I think that those are the folks who helped finish the last few that have been donated, and the ones in Canada were donated to the Atira group in Vancouver, and they work with the Downtown Eastside Women's Shelter. And 2 quilts went to Burdock House that Michelle was describing before in Penticton, and 3 quilts from the US Deb got together, and they were donated to the Sacramento chapter of Quilts for Kids. So thank you everyone who participated, and it was awesome to collaborate with everyone for this cause. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. It's so great that PMQG is spreading love all across the continent. I love it. Thank you so much. Deborah, did you want to say anything?
Oh, I was just going to say thank you to everyone who helped out. It was a great group and we had a lot of fun, even though we were all in different places, but it worked out really well. And I'm happy to say I have the last one that's going to Quilts for Kids in Sacramento that I just finished up yesterday. So hopefully we'll be able to do it again in the future.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we have lots of small groups that meet for different interests and different times of day and times of the week. So if you are wanting to join a small group, take a look in the members only section for the dates and times, and then also the Zoom links for those. And thank you so much to our small group leaders who have been helping those groups keep going. If you have an idea for a small group that you want to lead, please email the guild and we can get you set up with Zoom access. So I think right now we have, I know there's an improv group, there's the Sunday group that is sort of general sewing, come hang out and work on whatever you've got. And there's a few more groups. So we're always open to having more people lead if you are interested. All right, we have some new members that are maybe here this evening or have joined since the last meeting. And we're so glad to have them here and with us, and we hope to see you at a PMQG event soon. So welcome, and if you see these folks in person, please give them a big PMQG welcome. All right, next we have our show and tell. So if you turned in a show and tell quilt and you're here, please get ready to unmute yourself and talk about your quilt when you come up. All right, we've got Chris.
Hi. So this quilt I made, it funny that Carol's was talking about scraps today. This is completely 100% scraps with the exception of the white. The white was all the white in the various blocks is all the same. I was trying to bring some continuity to the piece, but this is my randomly generated quilt. So each quilt block was chosen by rolling dice, and then the colors for each block was also chosen by rolling dice. So it was a really fun project. It's all over social media if you have not caught it yet. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to make and got rid of a lot of scraps, which was nice.
Awesome. It's so fun. All right, next we have Sarah.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, I made this quilt. The background for the quilt is some indigo dyed sheer curtains that I did at the indigo dye workshop for our guild. So it's really soft and came out really great. And then the balloons are questions from Amy Dame's minis that she made from the fabric challenge. She was staying over at my house and she had all the words printed out in reverse. So I was like, can I borrow those? So I made up those questions. I'm going through divorce this year, and last month's talk, she talked about divorce and passage quilts, and it just really inspired me to keep working on it in that spirit. So I started making all these questions and they felt too heavy, and then I just put them on there as balloons. And I did made some binding out of stripy fabric. So I got to make the strings. I cut it out of 45 and then use those little binding tools that we all bought to make masks with, I'm only using it for something fun. And then put it on there, and I did some hand stitching, and I just like free form, just like angrily, weirdly quilted it. It's really cool. And the clown in the bottom, I know some people don't like clowns, but clowns are kind of getting cool on TikTok, so check that out. But my friend gave me that weird fabric. It's like she does estate sales, and she's like, you have to see this fabric, it's so weird. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, it's my part of my process quilts, doing like a series of them. And I just really like how this one came out. I felt like it was a culmination of a bunch of different skills, you know, to make the strings and then the balloons and the words and stuff. And yeah, I really like it. People seem to be really responding to it well too on social media. So that's nice.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right, next we have Deborah.
Hi there. Okay, well, this was my second creation, kind of using a lot of the PMQG block of the month. And it was, that whole process was a lot of firsts for me, doing the curves. On this one, I think that pattern encouraged me to use some fabric that I'd had for a long time. And I love how it turned out. I was able to also do the curved binding, and it was a lot easier than I thought. I think I might use it on future quilts, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. So thanks to all the designers out there.
That curved binding looks so cool.
It's fun.
Thank you, Deborah. All right, next we have Nadia.
Hi again. So yeah, I made some pillows that were donated to our local community radio station. The radio station is run by volunteers and they do a big fundraising event. So the fabric is by Lisa Flower, who's a Canadian fabric designer, and that's through Paintbrush Studios. And the design for the records actually came from a record quilt that was designed by Holly Clark Designs, if anyone's interested in looking at that. Thanks.
It's super fun. We're gonna put in for the auction. My husband wants them for our couch. All right. Joanna, are you here and want to
I'm
talk
here.
about your mini? Hello.
Hi, I got an email yesterday that my swap partner had got her quilt, so I was comfortable showing it. And it's from the Charles Cameron class we did in December. And the colors I used, it was a Free Spirit Fat Quarter bundle that I got. And it was really fun to do. And I took a picture of the back because I couldn't figure out how to quilt it for the longest time. So it looks kind of like something from the Jetsons, but it turned out really well. And I did triangles on 4 of the corners. So the woman who's getting that can hang it any way she likes.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea for a mini to have it be able to hang anyway. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. It's really fun.
Yeah, it was fun to do.
Great. All right, Gail.
Hi. I made this quilt. This has orphan blocks from 3 different quilts in it, basically. And then all the extra purple scraps that I have, because I keep all my scraps because I can't get rid of anything. And I think part of that is just kind of being financially strapped sometimes. It's just really hard to let go of anything. So I'm really trying hard this year to use up all my scraps, like even a little bit. And so this quilt, when I first made it, I wasn't sure if I even liked it because it was really crazy. But after I quilted it, it looks a little better. And I named it Purple Jungle after the Monk show, the television show Monk. I don't know, at the very beginning, there's a song about it's a jungle out there, and it's all about this detective who goes crazy with like something like this would drive him nuts. So I just thought it was perfect. And that's my quilt.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Gail. All right, that's our meeting. Thanks, everybody. If you want to hang out for a little bit, we can. If you're tired and it's time to go to bed, we'll hopefully see you in March. Thank you so much for sticking around this long.
Gail, I love that scrappy quilt. Do you have lots of purple scraps left?
Nope. I have
used up all
probably like 4 pieces.
All the purple.
I used them all.
Nice.
It's like little
That's
itty bitty
amazing.
pieces in there.
Sometimes I get like worried I'm making too many like scrap quilts. I'm like, cause then I gotta quilt them.
I can't spin it. I can't start anything until I finish something else. So I don't have any of those.
I am very much the same way. Like, people are
Wow.
surprised that I don't have like a stack of tops or all these UFOs, and I don't.
I'm still
drives me
shocked
crazy.
about that, Chris. Like, do you want some of my tops just like as spares? Like,
I have a stack of tops. I can't show you my space because the internet doesn't work over there. But I pulled them all out and they're at the top of the shelf, all neatly stacked up, and I'm gonna have lots of things to practice on once I get the long arm set up. So
yeah, baby.
That's
Um,
exciting. Oh my gosh.
That is exciting.
yeah. So, all righty. Yeah, I really was
I would
inspired
have
by
50 tops, Lindsay. I know. And I bought a long arm too. And I was like, is this gonna help me get
What did
little
you say?
50, 50?
Wow.
I am currently working on a project for, I'm being vague, a company
Okay.
where I'm binding a bunch of quilts that have been made from their scraps by quilt artists. And so I have 25 of those that I have been doing. And
Wow.
it's like the
that's a
worst
lot of
thing-
bindings.
It's the worst thing ever. Why did I
Yeah.
do that? But I also have 10 tops, and I told myself like if I get to 11, I have to finish one. I don't let myself do more than that anymore, because I would just have more and more. Because all I want to do is cut. Cutting's my favorite.
Yeah, I get like I do like a palette cleanser one. I'm like, I'll just do a quick palette cleanser blocker too, like improv, to like shake things off.
It's like when I redid my studio last year, I made rules for myself. It's like I only have to have 10 tops. I can only have 10 tops. Then I have like a certain number of cube boxes. And if there are like that many works in progress or that many cut quilt ideas, if there's not an empty box, I don't get to start a new one. I have to finish a box. I subsequently haven't really been sewing, so I don't know if it's working.
I was just gonna say that would not work for me at all because I just wouldn't do anything that like once I hit a certain point. Because whenever I'm like, I can't do anything else till I finish this one project that I don't really want to work on, I just play video games or something.
Yeah, same.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to QuiltCon?
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Chris is gonna be there. He's gonna
You
be
take a
You'd be a
picture of
guest
my
of
quilt for
AccuQuilt,
me.
right?
I can't go, but I would love a picture of my quilt hanging.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I'll be there on Thursday and Friday. So I will find it and take a picture.
Nice.
That'd be so awesome.
Cool.
Are there a lot of people that got quilts accepted this year? Do you know?
I don't know.
I
I thought there
don't
was like at
know.
least 15. So it was high. It was like 12 to 15 from Portland got into QuiltCon this year.
That's great. We should I'll make a note. We should put
Erin
in the
knows. I
newsletter
can see
that,
her
like,
face. Erin case, you know. You don't
if
know?
you had a quilt.
Only hope.
I got 2 in. Gail got 1 in.
Yep.
Sam got 1 in. Chris, no, I don't think Chris is a member of the guild anymore.
Beth got one in. Beth Wells got one in.
Yeah. Kath got 1 in.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
My son got 1 in,
Yeah, baby.
which I think he
Fun.
counts towards us. I can't think of who else.
Emery
7?
Cowley, she got one in, right?
Oh yeah, she got 1 in, so that's 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
They
bringing
usually
it up.
at the award ceremony on Wednesday, they usually announce the guilds that have the most in.
Yeah.
And so we'll find out if we usually have been like the top 3 the last few
That's
years.
great.
So hopefully we
Yeah.
will be again.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's make sure we see him on Instagram or and like have like a special spot or something, so we can all see him.
Yeah. Fun. Well, I'll try to repost those in stories if people
Yeah,
post them next weekend.
yeah, I love that
Awesome.
QuiltCon hashtag.
Yeah.
Once people start getting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these people. Oh, it's like
Mhm,
just walk
mhm.
through like the
QuiltCon
merch
Reject
area.
hashtag is the best quilt show online ever.
Very
Yes, it
inspiring
is.
though. Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
I love going through that.
Yeah, so many different techniques too. That's what I like too about I feel like a lot of them just like Aaron Case said that like, you got to really focus on like what category to apply for QuiltCon. And I feel like a lot of them are amazing, but maybe they didn't get the right category. Like, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, what category? Because it's got 4 different techniques. What category did they even go with?
Chris, when you're there, the
Yeah.
artist that's coming in September, Sarah, hers is there for
Okay.
hand quilting.
Oh,
So if you find it, touch it.
I will be taking lots and lots of pictures.
I'm just like so excited to touch those quilts because there's like hemp blend, cotton and hemp blend, which is so crazy cool because it's so sustainable. So I'm so excited about that. But also, like, how many times do we get to see people modern quilting, making their own patterns, like dyeing all their shit, and also the tiny little hand stitching.
Now,
Nobody hand stitches now unless it's like
My whole quilt that's at QuiltCon is hand stitched. I mean, it's all hand pieced.
oh, you hand pieced it.
It's all hand pieced, yeah.
Who has
My
that?
log cabin challenge is all hand quilted.
That's cool.
I love the quilting you did on that, Aaron.
Okay,
Though
now I
that
wanna
was
see
gorgeous,
that.
dude.
I had an
Aaron took a
opportunity.
class at QuiltCon for the hand quilting, and
Mm.
that's why I just like, I love it.
Can we do a show and tell after QuiltCon of everybody, all the member quilts?
Yeah, we're supposed to be
Yeah.
on top of it, and like, I think I didn't do it great last year, but like we're supposed to like do like a little show and tell like at the guild meeting at QuiltCon or after QuiltCon or something. But
Yeah, I made a note to put it in the newsletter, and we'll try
we can always do them in like
ask
April.
people to send us a picture of quotes
Yeah,
that they had
yeah.
at QuiltCon.
I was
So-
talking to someone who was doing the preliminary, not the judging, but to see who got into QuiltCon. And she said some of the categories have like tens of thousands of entries. So if you don't get picked, it's like someone said, you could just be in a category with
Yeah.
Many.
And that's what
thousands
Aaron
of
Case said,
people
and
in.
she is really intelligent. And I was like, she knows math. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you have to be strategic, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't try to go for modern traditionalism anymore because that's probably one of the more heavily competitive categories, but like the fabric challenge and the shape or whatever, this year was the log cabin challenge. Those are announced usually late spring, early summer. And so you have such a limited time frame that not as many people may put forth something for it. So,
Mhm.
And maybe like applique is another category that maybe, I don't know how competitive that category is, but I assume it's probably not as competitive as, modern traditionalism, or improv is probably more competitive as well. So
Yeah, improv. There were some intense ones. I know Chris and I went and judged the Hillsborough show, and that big red improv one, Chris, that one got into QuiltCon.
it did. That is awesome. That was
Yeah.
a really cool quilt. They
That was
used
some
a lot of,
work.
shot cotton, so it had like a lot of dimension to it. It was a really
Ooh, that's
Oh,
fun.
Anne Marie is here. Anne Marie's here.
Well, Robin's going too. She flies out on Wednesday, so she'll be there with her quilt.
nice.
Awesome.
And she got 2 into Mid-Atlantic as well.
That's
Ooh.
great.
Yeah,
I just-
for you, but for me, who's competing against her, not so great.
I just heard today I got into Paducah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Cool.
Yeah, my hexagon quilt from last year's QuiltCon.
Fun.
You know how much it cost me to get my quilt back from Paducah? $5.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wait,
For
there was a glitch. How much money was that? What was that?
$5 to get my quilt back.
How much?
That's
Okay.
wild.
Pass it through if anyone needs it. Yeah,
65.
65, $45 UPS and $20 for handling. 60.
Wow.
That's on
Wow.
top of you probably paid to put it in and then the $20 to mail it. So kind of a
Wow.
That's how they get you.
That's why I
Good
don't
night,
do
you
quilt
guys.
shows, because that is what it's like for anything here in Canada. Like it's closer to 100 usually by the time you pay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What's Paducah?
Oh, you're gonna have a fun little rabbit hole to go down, Jeannie. I'm jealous that you get to have your first little
Good night,
Paducah
Lindsay.
internet scroll.
Good night.
Night, Lindsay.
It's well, it's a town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
Paducah,
town in
Kentucky.
Kentucky, and then they have a big quilt store there, and then they have the quilt. It's like the
National Quilt
National
Museum.
Quilt Museum is there,
Mhm.
and then they have a big show.
Yeah,
Giant.
American Quilting Society.
I just
Or
put a
Quilter
link in the.
Society.
Aaron
in
just
the
put a
chat.
link. So
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Although it's a dry county.
Someone sent me a t-shirt from the museum.
oh, nice.
Well, and so they have AQS has their big show in Paducah, Kentucky, and then they take it on the road and travel around. Like there's one in Daytona, Florida.
Yeah, and it's the same weekend as QuiltCon, and I don't know if that's normally the case, but like, because AccuQuilts, who's flying me out to QuiltCon, and like half of them are going to Daytona and half of them are going to QuiltCon.
I just feel like Aaron, next year you gotta be like, I feel like, are we putting money? I put a general amount of $1. Aaron's like, Houston. Yeah.
I got an email from a friend of a friend today with links to submit to like Houston and
Yes.
and other things. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
we'll see. We'll see.
And you're working on a
You gotta be real
TARDIS
clean
quilt.
to get
It
in
looks like.
Houston. They look at everything under a microscope. Like,
Yeah, the TARDIS quilt is for a teacher gift for the end
Oh,
of the year.
fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've made that one. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's my second time. I made one for my brother a few years ago. So
It's funny that it's a TARDIS because I didn't realize that at first. And then when you were bigger on the screen, I was like, oh, it's a TARDIS, but I thought it was like a landscape of the ocean and that was a lighthouse.
Oh,
Like strips of the blue like that.
nice.
And I was like,
Hey,
that's really
Bernadette,
cool.
I see your comment. Usually people they're going to QuiltCon, what is it? They usually do like a hashtag. Erin knows she goes to QuiltCon a lot and they do a hashtag and then like you post and then you see with people that are posting. Is that how people meet up? Usually?
I think previously board members were going, and so they kind of organized. I think there was a dinner a couple of times, or breakfast or brunch or something.
I had nachos. I remember this now. Yeah.
We're having a
Gail, it was a
Canadian-
fancy place. Let me tell you about these nachos, Gail. Okay. It wasn't just like chips on it and cheese. It was like each chip had like a stuff on it and it was like placed around a plate. You know what I mean? It was like each chip was like a, what is it?
Someone's being a little OCD.
I don't
Dang.
know. I never had nachos like that. I mean, it was good, but it was
Molly,
just-
what were you gonna say?
We're having a Canadian meetup at QuiltCon.
Oh, fun.
And one of my other guilds, because I belong to 3, is getting stickers for your badge. So you can identify other, because I belong to Toronto, Portland, and Fraser Valley. So
That's awesome.
I mean, I know Terry and Johanna, but I don't know people from my other guilds, so it'd be good to identify
Cool.
them.
Well, Chris is going. Casey Manley, who is on the board, is going.
Everybody find
Bernadette, are you
Chris at
going?
QuiltCon.
Chris, I should be able to identify Chris there.
Yeah, he's taller than everybody and he'll be at the AccuQuilt Go thing.
And I will be wearing a bright shirt. I know I'm gonna wear my Mood and Garden shirt with the snakes. I haven't decided what, actually, it might be this. I haven't made it yet, so I have to make a shirt. But it'll be.
You don't have much time.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, how
fun.
cool.
I just made this one during the meeting.
That's amazing. How
I
many
used
of
to
those
hate
shirts do you
tacos.
have now?
more than 15.
So I have another
Wow.
follow-up question, Chris, about the shirts. So let me get this straight though. And like, we make the shirts, but like you do you iron them? Are they ironed when you come out of the, what's the laundry on that?
I hang them up after they come out of the dryer.
Right
I
out of the
don't
dryer?
iron my clothes.
And
Done.
the collar and everything's okay?
Yeah, it's got interfacing in it, so
Okay.
Sorry, he just
Okay.
has so much fabric and he make them fast, he just throws them away.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel like I haven't had great luck making tops for myself. And I think I was like, oh, then I have to iron them. And like, maybe I should just pull them
Like-
right out.
the quilting cotton I find doesn't like wrinkle as much as shirting fabric. Like it doesn't wrinkle the same way. So
Yeah.
Just quilt it. If you
What was
quilt it, it won't wrinkle.
Does,
No.
so Ben Millet, who is gonna come and speak to us, in a couple of months, he's got a great, he makes a quilt sweatshirt every year. His hashtag is QuiltCon Couture, which I love. It's been really fun to watch him, make his.
Don't you
his
feel like
clothes.
those sweatshirts and that style that other people, it should have a zipper though, because there's no give.
Yeah.
On that side.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I don't
give
know
you that
how
much
that works
flex.
for him, but
Yeah.
yeah. He also posted today that it's gonna be like 78 degrees in Atlanta, and he's like, how am I supposed to wear a sweatshirt when it's 78 degrees? So we'll see.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Japanese shibori style where they like just overlap pieces of sheer fabric and make like a sheer like top to go
There
over.
we go. There we go.
That would be
Yes.
my wear
Yes.
that. But I know in the past, like quilt cons, like they have like a lot of people like just go and get like vintage quilts and they'll just like make a giant skirt or something, you know? Just
Mhm.
a lot of quilt fashion there. It's very inspiring.
Yeah.
I should make a skirt.
Yeah.
I was gonna make an apron dress, that apron dress pattern that I have. I was gonna do that for with
Thanks
don't
for
know.
sharing your mini with us.
You're welcome. I put on my big girl pants and showed something for the first time.
Yeah.
Very brave. We'll
Good
see you
night.
tomorrow night.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, it's midnight for me because I'm in Montreal, so I'm gonna.
Whoa. Good night.
Bye. See you.
Have fun at QuiltCon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Should be good. I'm almost ready.
You got a few more days to get everything packed up.
Yeah, work gets in the way, unfortunately.
Oh, so rude of work.
Yeah.
It's annoying. So.
Better work.
Anyway. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Holly. Gail, show us your paper piece star again.
Yeah, and these aren't mine. I'm making these for my daughter whose best friend just had a baby and she's making her a quilt.
Your daughter is giving the quilt to her friend,
Yes.
but you're making the quilt.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
She kind
She
of
picked up the fabric, right? I think I was there when she picked up the fabric at a sow day a few months ago, right?
Yes, months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because I can't stand things not finished in my room. It's driving me nuts.
They can't
Like,
stay
I-
there.
I cannot. sit there.
There's a vibe happening there that that's not okay. You know, we have
It's
said.
not okay.
No, yeah, no. Yeah, totally.
And she knows that if she just waits long enough, that, you know, someone will do it.
Nice. Chris, did you finish your confetti quilt? Is that what's hanging behind you?
Yep. And I machine bound it, which I never do. But I'm actually very
Ooh.
happy with how it turned out with my new sewing machine.
Nice.
Just to handle it. So
That's awesome.
I'm-
How do you like the new long arm?
I like it. It has I had to turn the beep off because it was really loud, but it has a warning if you're going too fast.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, so now it's just a red light and it like flashes on the screen reminding me to slow down. 'Cause you have that problem. It also
Nice.
has an edge warning. So if you get like close to the front bar, because you usually can't see it, and I'll just be quilting along and like hit it. And then you know, my nice curve all of a sudden is flat.
Yeah,
So it has a warning for that too, which I really like.
that's cool.
Why do they go that fast if they're not supposed to?
I'm like, they need to like tighten the wheels or make there a little more resistance. So I can't just like fly across the quilts.
Yeah.
I sit down and my light flashes at me, so it's more than just it flying across the quilt.
How long can you stand in quilt at a time?
So
I have such a hard time with that.
if I could raise the table a little more, I could probably do it for longer.
Yeah.
But like, it is at the max and it's on casters, which adds another like 1.5 inches.
Huh.
But this one took me 6-ish hours, but I did it in spurts.
Do you have a anti-fatigue mat?
I have a mat, but it's not padded. I need to get
Oh, I want to get a
Costco
padded
has
mat
some.
to have.
Go get the anti-fatigue mat, like get it from, well, I was gonna say Princess Auto, but you don't have that in the US. But like a hardware place or mechanic, not a like homewares, because they're
Right.
more heavy duty.
Yeah.
Or like would restaurant supply places have
yeah.
good-
Great.
Yeah, and I want the one that's like long, that's the whole length.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have it's a 10-foot runner, which is now too long for my space because I downgraded to an 8-foot frame. So it's from Ruggable, and I think I'm just gonna cut it and bind one of the ends.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's cute and I like it.
But you can also put that underneath a anti-fatigue one, because my cat was obsessed with scratching the crap out of my anti-fatigue one, so I had to keep another one on top of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Then you could have still have the cute one and still have one that works better below it.
That's smart. I might have to try that.
So I just bought cheap one from the dollar store, and it goes on top of the quality one, so that if the cat was gonna claw the crap out of something, it was a cheap one.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're so smart.
But I sew standing up all the time. I don't have a long arm. I just sew my machine's on a raised table.
That's
So
cool.
I sew standing up, period.
Marika or anybody, is there a link to sign up for the spring retreat for non-guild members?
So what they do is they first have to put the non-member $10 in the cart, then go to the retreat and put the retreat in the cart. Otherwise, when you get to the retreat, you can't find the non-member $10, and then you don't pay it. And
Is it possible to set up a link for non-members? I've got people in the Cherokee group that want to join just because Tanya's coming, and I can both in Mount Hood Cherokee and the Puget Sound group, and even Willamette. We can get it in the Cherokee newsletters, and then I would suspect that will lead to people joining the guild too. So
Awesome. That's great.
a cool thing. But the Cherokees, they're bugging me, how do we go? And I'm like, join the Quote Guild. And
Great.
members, yeah.
Yeah, I would say I don't know that we're gonna be able to get a separate shop item that's specifically for non-members
Okay.
set up in a timely manner. So you could just have the link that's portlandmodernquiltguild.com/shop or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then
explain you gotta pay it.
and then say do the non-member fee, and then also and I imagine Marcy's not here, so I don't want to speak for her, but I imagine that if we have some non-members sign up and they didn't do the fee, we can send them an email afterwards and say, hey, please pay this
Okay.
I put the links for the non-member workshop and the spring retreat in the chat there.
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
so much.
What did you say, Roseanne?
So they can't go back and pay the non-member fee after the fact, because the way the shop is set up, it wants you to have that non-member fee linked to something. We had that happen last year.
Oh.
You have to send a separate $10 check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little crazy, but they have to they have to put the non-member into the cart, then go to the
okay.
Yeah, it's just a little quirk.
What
We found out last year,
weird.
one lady didn't bother paying. She was the only non-member, and she didn't bother paying because we couldn't figure out how to do it. And it kept telling her she needed something else in the cart.
Technology
off.
makes me want to cry all the
How
time.
many
Technology, yes.
How
We're like
many-
getting it through a meeting, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
spaces are there available still?
What's that, Amy?
How many spaces are there still available?
Lots. Hurry up and get your ticket.
Well,
Spaces
now I
are
need
filling
to
up
pay with
fast.
my credit card to be able to buy the ticket.
I wanted to make it sound like it was more than it was. We only have about half full.
Okay.
So we still have about 20 spots. So we're like,
Okay.
get your ticket. They're selling out fast.
I didn't have it with.
Well, and I will do another post I'll try to do it tomorrow to do another post and let people know that it's open to non-members.
Right,
Post
and
it
now
on
that it's-
Instagram.
Now that it's open to non-members, I will post in Clark County and
Great.
And I'll let other people that I know, anybody. I'll post on my personal.
It's funny. So I arranged for my mom to hang out with my kiddo on Saturday because I didn't go last year, but I tried to go 2 years ago, and managing the kid and my husband's work schedule and all of that. Bye, Chris. Have fun at QuiltCon.
Didn't you pop
It wasn't gonna work. And so I was like, I need childcare to be able to do this.
Did
So
you
I
pop-
talked to my mom.
a talk? Didn't you pop in last year and do a talk?
I did, but I didn't attend the retreat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I arranged for her to do childcare for part of the day on Saturday. And then when it was going to be open to non-members, I was like, oh, I should invite my mom to come to the retreat. And then I was like, no, she's babysitting. She can't come. So
There, priorities.
yeah. Anyway.
I didn't sign up for it at first because it's the weekend after the in-person meeting. So
Yeah.
if you traveled to the in-person meeting, they won't be home to attend it online. And so because I was originally going to come down for the March meeting, but now Sarah's busy, so I'm not.
Join us.
Yeah.
Join us.
July would be, or not, I thought it was June, and I thought, oh no, yeah, it was June. I was thinking June, but actually September I think would be really good because I have a meeting on the third Monday as well as the third Thursday, and in September they're separate weeks.
Oh, nice.
So I don't need to be back by a certain time. kind of thing. So
cool.
So Nadia and I were messaging back and forth to each other during the meeting.
Making plans.
Wanting to carpool.
Scheming.
But she's out of vacation time until April, so we can't.
Oh no.
So.
Well, my guest room is not set up yet. I'm sitting in what will be the guest room because the sewing room doesn't have Wi-Fi apparently. But I hope to have my guest room set up soon. So I'll be able to host out of town folks as well.
There's I could just stay there too. And I was like, well, what's the point of that? But also, I should have
After the end of March, I will have an open room.
Oh.
So like, but it will be after that. What's that?
Yeah.
That when someone's moving out.
Not moving out, but my daughter's going to Japan for 3 months.
Oh,
that's cool.
That'll be fun.
Uh-huh.
So there's, nice big space up there.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm a little jealous.
Jealous she's going.
Yes.
I thought you meant jealous of the space. I'm like, it's your space.
Oh no. Especially as soon as she moves, that's gonna be my new sewing room.
Well, you just gotta kick the husband out of the bedroom, take over the master.
Isn't Roseanne, isn't your sewing room in the master bedroom?
Yeah, this used to be the master bedroom. I'm in the ensuite. There's the bathrooms over there.
That's nice.
That's super handy.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
That's great.
Well, he needed to move. He sews too. For those that don't know, he sews, and he needed to move in here after he got kittens because his parts were all over the house in the morning. He sewed in the dining room, and he would come out in the morning, and his parts were everywhere. So he said, "I need to move in." I'm like, "I'm in a 10 by 10 room, and I have like 2.5 feet by 6 feet of floor space left in that room. You can't move in here." So we moved rooms.
Hey, It works.
Everything in the room is on casters except for the bookcases.
Wow.
Wow.
Smart.
It all rolls. Got the
That's
long
cool.
arm and everything. We'll go on tour. Here, we'll do a tour.
I put my Christmas tree on casters.
There's my north wall. That's his sewing space with his embroidery. There's my cutting table. My rulers are up on the wall on the pegboard. That's the closet.
Oh, is that the closet of despair and abandonment?
Abandonment. Closet of abandonment. All of, let's see, all of these things here, these are all abandoned projects, or other people might call them UFOs. My ironing board is currently up because I was quilting. So my long arm's here in the room, and I have one half of the, or one side, one leaf is down when I'm not using it. And then I have extended pieces on that go out on the edges to hold the weight. So there's the ironing board, and behind it is the actual ironing board that holds the board. And and then my thread is on the wall, and that's the whole room. It's not a big room, but it has everything in it.